Nottingham, a city in England famous for giving us Robin Hood, the good medicine ibuprofen, and terrible doctor Harold Shipman, Britain's most prolific serial killer. But we aren't here to talk about killing old ladies or anti-inflammatory drugs. However, in the spirit of Robin Hood, we are looking at a story that's about stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Woo-hoo! Sort of. The year is 1766, and due to a year of bad weather and poor harvests, England is plagued with food shortages. And when something is in short supply, it becomes more expensive. Not only did this mean that the average working class person in England was priced out of buying bread, but grain was also an essential component of livestock farming. So in turn, meat and dairy products also became more expensive. The latter half of the 1700s was the start of the Industrial Revolution. And while most people were still agricultural workers in the countryside, more and more people were flocking to the cities in search of work. Like many other cities around England, in the 1760s, Nottingham had experienced a building boom of heavily crowded slums, designed to house its expanding workforce. They were unsanitary, unsafe, and resulted in what was described as a highly combustible populace. And what do you get when you pair a large crowded population with a shortage of affordable food? Riots. Between the 9th of September and 23rd of October 1766, there were at least 22 documented riots in 14 different counties across England, all relating to the unaffordable price of food. But of these 22 riots, none were more slapstick and amusing than the Nottingham Cheese Riot. Every year at the end of September or start of October, Nottingham would have its annual Goose Fair, an event that goes as far back as 1284. Traditionally, the fair was a livestock and trade event centred around the selling of geese, but over the years, it had become famous for its cheeses. And the Goose Fair is still going on to this day, in the form of a brightly lit fun fair.
Okay, let's go.
But back in 1766, it was an extremely important event. It came shortly after harvest time, and people would come to buy food, clothing, and other goods to stock up for the winter. So, on Thursday the 2nd of October 1766, when the Goose Fair began, due to the previously mentioned shortages of grain and other foods, Nottingham's residents were furious to find that the cheese had nearly doubled in price. 36 shillings? That's outrageous! Don't like it, don't buy it, buddy. That's the price. But I was at a market in Coventry last week and a 100-weight of cheese was only 18 shillings. 36? That's just insane. Look, guy. That right there is a 100-weight of cheese. In a couple hundred years, when the metric system comes in, that'll be like more than 50 kilos of cheese. Metric system? Yes. It's a much less archaic measuring system that'll be adopted all over the world, except for by those stubborn Americans. America? But that's a British colony. Why wouldn't they adopt it? Because of a revolutionary war that hasn't happened yet. Look, that isn't the point. The point is, that's a lot of cheese. And in 2025's money, it works out at about £3.50 for a kilo of cheese, or $4.50 for £2 if you're an American, which really isn't that much money. But I'm not American, and it isn't 2025. It's 1766, and I say those prices are outrageous. I don't know what else to tell you. As the day went on, although things remained peaceful, 36 shillings? That's outrageous! Most normal people found themselves priced out of buying cheese for the winter. And angry locals had to watch on as wealthy merchants from outside of town were buying up all the cheese. 36 shillings for a 100-weight of cheese, you say? If you say that's too expensive, I'm gonna scream. If I weren't so wealthy, I'd take that as an insult. But no, it's not too expensive, because we are incredibly wealthy merchants. Cecil. Yes, boss? Make it rain. Oh, baby. Eventually, a sense of injustice grew among the locals, and at around 7 p.m, as some wealthy Lincolnshire merchants were about to leave town with the 600 weights of cheese they'd just purchased, they caught the attention of some quote-unquote rude lads. Hey, douchebags! That's rude. Are you talking to us? I don't see any other douchebags around here. Wow, okay. No need to be rude. Can I help you with something? Yeah. As a matter of fact, you can. You should not stir a cheese till the town is first served. Stir a cheese? What the heck does that even mean? It means that cheese is for locals, and if you know what's good for you, you'll let us have a piece of it first. Or else what? Daddy chill, I've got this. Or else what? Or else we'll kick your teeth in. Sir, I think we should give them some of the cheese. They look pretty angry. Relax, Cecil. These guys are all talk. Go ahead, do your worst. In the chaos, women and boys tore big parcels of cheese apart and carried chunks away. With the cheese weighing more than 50 kilos and being conveniently shaped like a wheel, people started to wheel entire hundredweights of cheese away. The town descended into a turbulent scene of freewheeling cheese fights and looting. Amidst all the trouble, the Mayor of Nottingham reportedly stepped in to appeal for calm. Everybody stop! This is madness. All this over a bit of cheese. I know times are hard right now, but there's no need to be so rude to one another. If we just show a little compassion, we... The mayor was reportedly knocked down by a rogue wheel of cheese. The authorities tried to take control, arresting a few people and keeping them in the nearby coffee house. When the mob found out, they showed up and started smashing up windows and tearing up the pavements outside. Until the authorities had no choice but to release them. Sir, we released the prisoners like they demanded, but they're still rioting. What? Well, we gave them what they wanted. What are we supposed to do? I have some ideas. Okay, so, what are these riots about? Yellow circles? That's cheese, you idiot. Oh yeah, cheese, of course. Cheese. And what loves cheese? My grandma? Rodents. And how do we catch rodents? With mouse traps. We lay giant mouse traps all over the town. The rioters get a whiff of the cheese, then bam! Dead. It's genius! But impractical. How are we going to build so many giant mouse traps? Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, I have another idea. How else do we catch rodents? Cats? Cats, exactly. But cats are too small to catch people. They're like giant rodents, so we'd need giant cats. Giant cats like... lions. Of course! We release lions all over Nottingham. It's genius! You're focusing too much on this rodent angle. These aren't rodents we're dealing with. They're human beings. Human beings who are struggling to put food on the table. Lions? Giant mouse traps? It's barbaric. Where's your compassion? There's only one way to deal with this. And what's that, sir? We bring in the army to shoot them. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Nottingham Civil Powers sent a messenger to nearby Derby to request help from the army. And, in the early hours of that morning, a cavalry regiment, the 15th Light Dragoons, arrived. On the second day of the Goose Fair, things were peaceful again, but as night fell, so too did the rioting. However, this time, the army were on hand. They fired their rifles into the crowd, injuring several people. Surprisingly, only one person was killed. Keep your dirty hands off my cheese, you heathens! Ah, good. The army are here to protect me. Thank goodness. Ah! Looks like this guy was actually just protecting his own cheese. You mean he wasn't even a rioter at all? Nope. Whoopsie. What are you like? The riot's only casualty, William Eggleston, wasn't a rioter, but a farmer, protecting his own cheese from the crowds. The threat of being shot by the army seemed to have the desired effect, as the rioting calmed down in the following days. By Monday the 6th of October 1766, a few hundred people gathered to burn down a windmill near the Trent Bridge. Let's burn this windmill to the ground! Guys? I don't want to be a buzzkill, but I heard the army are on their way. I'm not so sure this is a good idea. Who cares? Let's burn this mother down! I don't really want to get shot. Me either. Did you hear what they did to that William Eggleston guy? Come on, guys, you can't give up that easy. Sorry, Jimmy. Looks like the party's over. Come on, guys, let's go home. Guys, come on. I can't riot on my own. You can't have a one-man riot. I'll just look like a lunatic. Aww. And with that, the Great Cheese Riot came to an anticlimactic end. Amazingly, for a riot that lasted 5 days and involved the army shooting at people, only one person is reported to have died, and that was a case of friendly fire by mistaken identity. So, What can we learn from the Nottingham Cheese Riot of 1766? Aside from an insight into the complex economic relationship between climate, resources, money and human behaviour, I think the most potent message here, more potent than even the stinkiest of blue cheeses, is that English people will go absolutely mental for a bit of cheese.